Welcome everybody to another episode of On the Hill or From the Hill podcast. I am Wild Wayne Cartwright, and with me is Mr. C.K. Williams, Miss J the Great, and Mr. T Gooden.
What's up, everybody?
How's everybody this evening?
We good.
Doing all right, Brother Wayne. How you doing?
All right, I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great. So, hey, there hasn't really been much going on with A&M lately, has there?
Not at all.
Not much.
Just a few things. All right, so there are people who are coming on. So just want to remind everybody, those that are coming on, those that are already here, those that will watch this coming back in live or watching it as the recording. As you can see across the bottom, we have our handles and we have the places where you can follow us. You can see our YouTube channel is on From the Hill podcast. Please remember to subscribe to that channel, like and follow us on Facebook as well as Instagram, and you can link up with us on Twitter at From the Hill 1875. All right, we got to get right into what we call Mobile Gate. So as you can see, we have provided you for your viewing pleasure the Bridge Builder Classic, which was put out a couple of days ago, which is a game between a team that you might know very well down the road, which will go nameless right now, but you can see their name on the screen. They would be our rival. And you can see that this game is not being scheduled to be held in Huntsville in our brand new event center. No, not in the brand new event center. Not the event center that seats 6,000 people. Not the event center that just opened last week. Not that place. But Mobile, Alabama. And it's on Monday, Martin Luther King Day. Now, many people saw a public display today where there were a lot of mentions of names, mentions of bylaws, mentions of trustee information, mentions of a lot of information. But also something else that has been mentioned that is fact is we know that there's a lot of alumni that are out there that are not happy. They were not happy when it was first announced as speculation, and they're definitely not happy to see this flyer now out. So I'm gonna turn this one right over to Miss J the Great, because Miss J the Great, I'm gonna give you the first swing to talk to all of our viewers out there about how you really feel. Miss J the Great, the floor is yours.
So I'm going to keep how I really feel. This is a family show. So I'm going to keep this very Disney, very, PG-13. But this by far has to be the dumbest decision I've ever seen. This is dumb. I'm sorry, it's dumb. So let me go into why I feel. Now, this is my opinion. We have a brand new, has 100 people even been in the building yet? Brand spanking, has all the restrooms been used yet? Brand new facility. Beautiful facility. Seat 6,000. And this is the first basketball season that the event center is open. And Alabama State is our biggest in-state rival. And if anyone has been to the game, especially in Elmore Gym, you know that it is literally standing room only. So the game is now going to be played at the Mitchell Center. Now, what I'm noticing on this flyer is that it mentions the Mitchell Center, but it doesn't mention where the Mitchell Center is held. Now, I used to live in Mobile, Alabama. I actually just moved back to Birmingham from Mobile in May. So the Mitchell Center is the gymnasium at the University of South Alabama, a PWI. So I actually attended the first Bridge Builder Classic last year, and I didn't catch all of the games because it's an all-day event. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm old. I don't have too many all-day events in me anymore. But I did catch the Alabama State Bethune-Cookman game. It was nice, but not nice enough to move our biggest game 6 hours down I-65 to Mobile. Yeah, Mobile is a beautiful city. I love it. I lived there a few years. Love. I mean, the hospitality is top notch. I was at the Gulf Coast Challenge. Love Mobile. So this is not about Mobile. But this game is moved 6 hours down I-65. And if you've ever been on I-65, especially in that junction between Birmingham and Montgomery, that's about 3 hours worth of traffic right on that strip right there. So let's say it's 9 hours because you got to deal with traffic and holiday traffic because this is Martin Luther King weekend. So we're moving it on a Monday. So I don't know about y'all. But yes, most people are off. You know, I'm off that Monday. But Tuesday, you got to go back to work on Tuesday. You got to go back. So that's driving 6 hours back up after the game, because I'm pretty sure this game is the evening game. So let's say the game ends at 9 o'clock. Now you got to drive back up 6 hours, back up 65, and be on work on time at 8 o'clock in the morning. Now, this is just what I'm thinking. Now, of course, I wasn't at the table, so they didn't ask me. But I don't think I would have done this. Monday, I'm trying to eat, do a little community service and give me a hot dog from somewhere. Anybody trying to be driving 30 hours from Mobile to Huntsville? Ain't nobody doing it. So again, you can write it down. Jennifer Murray thinks that this is the dumbest decision. You can quote that. Jennifer Murray thinks this is absolutely dumb. And I'm not going to even just say dumb and leave the B silent. I'm going to say dumb with the B. Get that B. It's dumb. All I got right now. That's all I got. I'm going to come back with some more, but the dumb.
T Goody, go ahead, take a swing, my brother.
Hey, everybody. Sorry, I am off camera tonight, man. I did some stupid out of town, forgot my laptop charger, so I got to do what it do. But just piggybacking off what Jen said, this is not just dumb. This is an asinine decision. Like, it doesn't make any sense at all. And then, like, I'm just sick and tired of, man, like we letting our leadership get away with these decisions and not holding their feet to the fire, man. Like, this happens way too much. And then, I'm speaking to a member of the board of trustees, and apparently this decision was made without everybody. Like, how do you move an entire conference game from your home game to a whole city and only 2 or 3 people know about it? Like, what's right about that? And not only did they move it, like, nobody was in consideration. Like, this is just me. I'm not an administrator, probably never will be, because I like to speak freely. But you take a game, you're not even considering the students. Forget me, forget the people in Huntsville. These are the students on the campus of Alabama A&M University, something that they can walk to, and you're not even giving them the opportunity to experience that. How are you going to take that experience away from them and then hide it? There still hasn't been nothing said from the university. If you look on AAMU sports.com, it still says the game is in Huntsville. This flyer, Bridge Builder Classic, like, what is that? Like, what is that? And then it says the largest SWAC surfing. Like, come on, that's what we're doing now. I talked to my buddy from Alabama State. He said that dude don't even play for Alabama State anymore. It's on the flyer. I don't even know who the dude is from A&M. Why are we letting this stuff fly? Like, we're just letting the school, some of the leadership at the school, and then it was been said that the the past president and the athletic director may have spearheaded this. I don't know. We'll probably never know. But like we gotta stop letting this stuff fly, man. Like it's ridiculous. And again, the part that pisses me off the most, they're hiding it. They've been new about this. This just didn't come up 2 weeks ago when everybody first heard about it. It didn't. Like the game still says the Huntsville, like nobody has said a word. I've tweeted, somebody tweeted AD about it a couple of weeks ago. He said, I'll speak about it soon. When is soon gonna come? That was 2 weeks ago. I tweeted him a couple of days ago. Hey, any word on this yet? No response. Like, why are we being so hush lip about it? And the answer to that is because they know it was dead wrong. They know it. And nobody wants to come to the forefront and stick their head out and face the facts. I mean, people are pissed off and they have a right to be. I'm one of them. Like, it's just some things you just don't do, and we gotta stop letting these people get away with stuff, and just moving on to the next issue. Because if we keep letting them get away with it, it's gonna continue to happen again.
Mr. Williams, you're next.
Hey, for the love of money. What that was Wayne, Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Yep, for the love of money. Gotta make that money, man.
And to me, that was the basis of the decision, just totally about money. And you know C.K. Williams is for the students, for the fans, for the alumni. And how do you move your largest game to another city? I love Mobile. I'm happy to play in Mobile. I love the Mobile alumni chapter. I love everybody. I got some of my best friends in Mobile. We could take any other game. You can take Grambling, you can take Southern, you can take Jackson State. You can take, you take that, but don't take that Bama State game from Huntsville, Alabama to Mobile, Alabama. So I want to make sure that everybody knows that we're in support. We love Mobile, but not for this particular game. And you're going to take, we already played UNA, Sanford, and everybody. All that was in Elmore. So you at one time when our gym would be completely full, you rob the students of the student athlete experience, the fan experience, and one thing, Martin Luther King Jr. weekend, that game was scheduled for Saturday. So people will travel up from Montgomery, from Birmingham, from this whole state, from Atlanta, to come to Huntsville, Alabama, because they're gonna be off that Monday. So then this game was on Saturday. They're gonna be off that Monday. So you talking about restaurants, hotels, and everything. We got to start making. I heard our national alumni president talk today, and we got to start working for our money, and that just takes a little bit of effort as far as marketing. Huntsville is a hotbed for basketball. High school basketball is some of the best in Alabama, in Huntsville, Alabama. People love basketball. And so you got to start marketing that, and to have a full 6,000 seat arena full, that kind of experience for recruits, for fans to see that for one time out the year, because it won't be a game that's full this year, but that Alabama State game. And to rob the students of that experience, the alumni, the fans, it's a disgrace. And from what I'm told, that this Bridge Builders Classic was going to pay more than whatever we make the whole season in basketball. What is it going to pay more? $40,000, $50,000 more? Okay. But you rob them of that experience. All it does is take effort. We can make a lot of money off parking, off ticket sales, off other but it takes people to think and have a vision. Do we not have a vision? We need to start having a vision, and the people who are getting paid to make these decisions needs to display that vision. But it's to me, it's a I'm a supporter. I'm always gonna support A&M, and I'm gonna continue supporting them. But I will not support this decision, regardless of the money that you're so-called making on this game. Because to me, the student athletes should, the students and the student athlete experience should come first. Especially, this is not football. This is not the Magic City Classic. We always know the Magic City Classic has been in Birmingham, for us. So that's been tradition. But don't rob the students of this tradition. We always have a home game unless Elmore is under renovation, which which we got a brand new event center, so that excuse won't fly. So I'm glad that people are speaking up and want answers, because that's, like I said, this show, that's what it's about. It's about us giving exposure to the university, talking about the good things, and giving the student athletes exposure, but also just giving people a voice. And at the end of the day, it's what's best. We want what's best for the students, fans, alumni, what's in the best interest of the university, and that's hands down.
And I want to add someone, if you, I'm sorry if I interrupt.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Thing that I want to add, like we always, I hear it from both sides, man. Like, we hear fans say the reason they don't go to the games or buy tickets or whatever is because, the school doesn't market it enough. And then, like, I've heard this from not people from the school, but some people have said that the A&M people are crying, but they don't go to the games anyway. Two things could be true, because we got people that don't go to the game, and our school also doesn't market. We know these things are true. The only thing the school doesn't market athletics. Let me put it that way. So, like, we got to stop this. You don't do it, so I'm not going to do it. We are never going to get to where we need to go if we keep pointing the finger at each other. I'm pretty sure y'all seen that meme where it was a bunch of Spider-Mans they had on the same thing, and everybody's pointing at everybody, and they didn't know which was what. But that's what we're doing. Fans and students, fans and alumni are pointing at the school, and some school people will say, "Well, when we do have stuff here, you don't come anyway." So we gotta fix that, man. And we want to engage, like we always say, we want to engage the city of Huntsville or the people on the north side. We have a beautiful facility on the north side on the Parkway. We know how people look at North Huntsville. We got a gym right there. Let's put that gym on display. And when I say gym, I'm not talking about a GYM. I'm talking about GEM. We have a gym right there on the Parkway. Beautiful LED lights inside and out. It's awesome. We've had a home game there every day last week, and I made sure I went to every last one of them, because I wasn't around to say that I was in Elmore Gym when it opened in 1974. But one thing I am going to be able to say, in 2060, God love, if the creek don't rise, I'm going to be able to say that first time we played in the event center, I was there. Let's do what we got to do and stop pointing the finger. Let's stop doing these backroom shady deals, and then everybody want to hide. Like, don't nobody know nothing. How does nobody know anything? But the promoters in Mobile clearly knew. So you telling me people in Huntsville don't? Come on, man. Like, I was born that night, not last night. Somebody step to the plate and take it and stop hiding. That's all I ask, and that's all I'm pretty sure everybody else asks.
I just want to say this real quick. I want everybody that's watching in the chat, I want y'all to turn to your neighbor. Everybody turn to your neighbor and say, "Neighbor, this is dumb." Dumb. With the B. Dumb.
Hey, and I love everything that you guys said, and everybody who's joining and those that are here for the first time, just want to remind you, just as you see everything scrolling on the bottom, make sure that you subscribe to this. And also, we're going to address some of the comments, but one thing I want to say on this is this cuts at the very core of what we're even trying to build. And what we're trying to build here is, this is a brand new era. And you can't say that we're trying to build a brand new era and move forward when we still keep some of the same old habits. And the reason why I say we're keeping some of the same old habits is because this is typically what does go on. The people who really have a voice, who are supposed to be your stakeholders, the people who are supposed to be your main supporters financially, emotionally, and spiritually, I'll add spiritually, they're the people who are alienated the most. And whenever we get into these conversations, and those that have seen this show, you've seen me For 4 weeks now, I've banged the drum about trying to support. But once we do start getting people on board with trying to support, once we have situations like this is what causes people to say, you know what? This is exactly why I don't come to games. You know what? This is exactly why I don't donate. You know what? This is exactly why I don't fool with A&M. But what I want to say, and this is going to T. Gooden's point, I want us to do the exact opposite here, though. I know this is dumb as hell. I say it again. This is dumb as hell, man. But one thing that we cannot do, we can't let this thing cut us and make us just say, you know what, the hell with it. It's the same old A&M. If we continue, if we're going to say the same old A&M now, you know, if we're not going to try, if we're not going to fight now, because if for one time we got to realize in this situation, this is everybody pissed off at the same time. And this is one thing that we all can agree on. I mean, say what you want to say. We've argued about the Magic City Classic. We've argued about why people don't show up to football games. We've argued about a lot of stuff with the university. But we're not arguing here. Everybody knows that this is dumb as hell. And this is something that we got to be able to pull together. We got to be able to reach out and pull more folk together. Because at the same time, while people are pissed off on social media, and while things and shows are going forth, and while this podcast goes forth, the voices and the complaints and the concerns are being heard. They're not naive to the fact that people don't like this. So this is an opportunity to push forward and not pull back. Because if anything is going to change, maybe, just maybe, it was because of this situation where we can turn the corner. All right, to some comments. I love this. How can one basketball game get us $1 million, but a 80-year-old football classic with 67,000 fans can't get us $1 million? That's a real good question, CJ.
and let me tell you, I think the $1 million just was thrown out there. I seen that number too. I don't think that $1 million accurate. I think it's more like anywhere from $60,000 to $100,000.
All right. Find the sponsor who stands to profit. See if it matches a board of trustees member. You have your answer. This one, just like they say at church. Well.
Yeah, we ain't gonna. I'm not gonna call any names because we want.
Right.
I want to have everything professional.
It just well. But my final words on this, guys. Anybody else got anything else you want to say before we move forward?
I just want somebody to stop hiding. Like you probably sent the promoter a text and said, "Hey, go ahead and release that flyer so I don't have to." Like, stop hiding. It's your university. We got people in leadership that's supposed to be able to handle stuff like this. We have a president. We have a public relations person. We have a marketing person. We have an athletic director. Like, stop running from it. It is what it is now. Stop running from it. Just tell us what it is. Tell us when it happened. Let us see the contract. Stop hiding from it, man. That's all I ask.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, we think that, I've been in business and, you think you're making a lot of money. But at the same time, if you don't go through the right, proper aspects, you're going to end up losing money. And let me verify why I say that, because you got a game listed on the schedule saying in Huntsville. Season ticket holders bought tickets based on that game being in Huntsville. So as a legal person could easily say, I bought season tickets, because of that game. And that's a valid argument. And so you may be setting yourself up for other lawsuits. You might have a signed contract with that classic, but you also could have a signed contract with these season ticket holders. So you may be looking at other lawsuits. So when I say you think you're making money, at the end, when it get all to the bottom, you might be losing money. So at the end of the day, I want everybody on here to continue to support A&M, because we're going to do that regardless. We're going to continue to give, but we're going to hold people accountable, and the good going to always prevail.
And I think I told y'all this last week, Corey, and I'll say it here as well. We bleed maroon and white. The only thing that these people get maroon and white are checks. They didn't. A lot of people that own the trustees and administrative, they don't bleed maroon and white like we do. They have a job that requires them to work for a school that's maroon and white. They will never love it like we do. But if you don't, you need to fake it. Make me feel like you love it. But this is like a stab at the fake. Show me some fake love. At least one time.
T-Good, I know you're emotional and everything, and but I think it's some on that board that bleeds maroon and white. I know.
Not all of them. Of course, I would never put a blanket on all of them. But call your colleagues to the forefront. We as Black people, we say like, hey, the good cops need to call out the bad cops, right? Don't we say that? Well, the good trustees need to call out the bad ones, like bring them to the carpet. Like, sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. And you're right, Corey. I'm very emotional. I'm maroon and white to the core. You know what I'm saying? I paid A&M a lot of money in student tuition, like all of us did. I just love my school, man. I'm just tired of us being. I didn't want to see another podcast of somebody talking about us. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to see that. You know what I'm saying? I want them to see that podcast needed to be about how great that facility was and how great the game was at Alabama A&M. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't that. It was like how the decision was dumb and it was moved somewhere else. I don't like that feeling.
Yeah. And and like I said, I know a lot of people sharing the same feeling, and it's something that we know that there's going to be more that's going to come out about this, and we know that this subject is just getting started.
Was there any more comments down there?
Oh yeah. So
hey, I saw one comment, man. I like this needs to be addressed too, man. Like, and we're a family, man. I don't stop letting these podcast people be like TMZ and you screenshotting stuff and sending it to them. Like, come on, man. Like, don't do that. Don't take a screenshot from a group conversation that was had and go send it to somebody else so they can talk about us. Like, are you for us or against us?
Yes.
I hate moles. Like, don't do that. And then put your name on, like stand on what you do. I don't understand why, if you're gonna do something like that, stand on it. Like, stop doing it and running. Like, and tell us why you did it. It's not gonna make any difference. But don't do it. But if you're gonna do it, stand on it.
Preach that, man. And you know something, and I'm glad you brought that up, because I saw that earlier, and I'm gonna say it like this, man. That was a real weasel dick move that guy did to put that. Yeah, I said that word. I know. That was a real dick move to go ahead on and screenshot that stuff. And the reason why I say that, you seeing my maroon and white come out. Because the thing is that it's one thing if you don't like certain things that the university does. Okay? That's your opinion. That's your right. Okay? Just like what Sammy has here. AAMU versus everybody. Okay? This is why I'm leaving it right there, because it's the facts. It's all right if you disagree with certain things. But to go and take something that we're saying and something that was mentioned by this particular gentleman was mentioned in confidence. And now it's on the internet, it's out there for the whole world to see it. Forever. You know what I'm saying? And now if that was your stuff that was being put out there, how would you feel? If that was something being put out there about your son or your daughter as an athlete, how would you feel? So that's something that we got to get better at this stuff. It's all right to be mad, but we got to be better at how we do business. Correct. Absolutely better.
Correct. And we don't condone showing anybody family members or nothing like that in, or people, photos, screenshots of family members. We don't condone that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So a couple more comments here. You know, this is something that we've talked about. I like this. Time to take athletics to the next level. Exactly. And that's forward vision, and we love that. And this is the kind of stuff that we do need to get ourselves into talking about. And that's the one thing that is going to take us forward instead of talking about old problems or some of the same old things. I mean, we know, like I said it already. We're talking about trying to do new era, but we still have old habits and old customs. And that's something that people who have some elevated mindsets, have bigger plans, bigger visions, those are things that we want to see come and join up with us, because we're all about, bigger visions and trying to push things forward. That's one of the biggest reasons why we got this podcast, because this podcast is for the people. And I know a lot of people have felt like that are on here that are talking, you feel like you haven't had a voice. And this is something that is giving everybody a voice. And I'm loving the energy in this thing right here. And I wish that we could see, instead of 27 people, 32 people watching, I'd rather see 3,200 people watching. But eventually we will get there. But this is something that we want everybody to share, because this is not just something that we're doing on a temporary basis. This is something that we're trying to carry forward. All right. So I know we got a little bit more to get to. So next thing I want to talk about here is I want to talk about they had our SWAC postseason awards today. And we had the fortune of having 3 gentlemen make the second team. So Mr. Zarian Hayes, defensive lineman, Donovan Eaglin, who was the running back who took over as the starter after the 4th game of the season. And then a very brilliant and very passionate offensive lineman, Mr. Jonathan Williams. These 3 gentlemen, we know that our season this year, we were 4-7. We didn't have the kind of season that we expected. But these 3 gentlemen to make the second team, this is a very brilliant and wonderful thing that needs to be celebrated. Everybody, if you follow any of these 3 gentlemen on Twitter or you have their social media, make sure you drop them a line and wish them congratulations. So anybody, guys, anything you want to add on this real quickly?
No, just congrats to those Bulldogs, man. I'm glad Eaglin came on from Michigan State to join the Bulldogs. Zarian Hayes, if you read the games, you heard his name a lot. And then, of course, you don't get to hear offensive lineman name. But the only I'm not going to say the only reason, one of the reasons Eaglin has made it to the second team and you heard his name is because of that offensive lineman that was in front of him. So, shout out to these gentlemen, man.
And if you know anything about Jonathan Williams, especially watching games, he is super passionate. He's on the sidelines. He's even when he's not in the game, he's encouraging his teammates, getting the fans to get involved. So, let's give a super shout out to Jonathan Williams just for having that passion and wanting to spread it not only to his teammates, but to the fans as well.
And I also want to say congrats to these 3. Zarian Hayes was a dog at defensive end. Everybody who saw him play, even against Troy and everybody, he played injured for a lot of the season, but he was still giving them boys that work. So he's going to probably be a strong runner for first team next year. And Eaglin, man, hey, he came out of nowhere, 4th game. He got the reins and he took it and held on to it. And he's going to be a beast in the future. And Jonathan Williams, for anchoring that offensive line. He's from Mobile, I think. So see, I love Mobile. I think he's from Mobile. So so congratulations to Jonathan Williams. Hey, we're looking forward to next season. Keep your head up, and hopefully we'll have 3 times as many all SWAC players next year.
Yep. Looking forward to next year, man. Looking forward to getting everybody to buy season tickets.
Amen to that. And then the next thing we have here, we got our men's basketball. And we opened the new event center last week. It opened to a very hard-fought 80-75 decision to Louisiana Tech. Very, very, very proud of the guys for fighting in that game. Louisiana Tech, for those that don't know, They compete in Conference USA, and they made it to the championship game last year in that conference where they fell to UAB. And then behind that, we have our 2 wins. We're on the board with a 90-79 victory over UT Southern and a 71-55 win over Fisk University that took place yesterday. Corey and Tenarius, I know the 2 of you were at these games. Talk a little bit quickly about the experience for everybody who hasn't been able to come to the event center and see these gentlemen play.
Wow. First of all, the event center, awesome experience. Very nice. It makes you proud to be an alumnus to sit in that event center and see where we came from to where we are now. The guys fought Louisiana Tech, which is in the Conference USA, and played them tough and really had a chance to win that game. So very proud of those. They won their last 2 games. They're putting up a lot of points this year. The only thing I see today probably need to work on, improve on is like I said, defense and also rebounding. We had a little bit more turnovers this last game as far as passing the ball, but I think Coach Hewlett is doing a good job. I think he's playing a lot of people right now, which is causing some of that, but I think he'll, shorten that bench, as we get closer to conference. So looking forward to seeing what we can do in conference play.
Yeah, I just want to add, man, I want to talk about the event center first. You first walk in there, man, it's just awesome. I sit on the east side of the arena, 3rd row up, and it's nice. The sound system is great. When I say those speakers from that ceiling have that place rocking, it's rocking. I don't get that great view like Corey has because he's courtside, but I'm still close enough that I can still, maybe catch a ball if it goes out of bounds or something. But it's real nice, man. And check this out, Bulldogs. We have 2 concession stands. Well, we actually have more than 2, but they've been having them going on both sides. The hot dogs are good. The chicken tenders are good. I pretty much had everything. Got to test it out for y'all to make sure it's good when y'all start coming there. Even if you get that 3-point club, they even have good food in the back. So make sure you buy that season ticket so you can have an opportunity to do that. But as far as the players, man, I tell you what, I like Gary Hicks, man. He ain't scared to shoot, and most of them drop. And forgive me, what's the other guard's name, man?
Messiah Thompson.
Messiah Thompson, man. We have a great backcourt. They may not be the tallest, but those dudes play like they're 6'4" and 6'5". Like that backcourt is our strong. And man, we really have a good team, man. We just got to get it together. Even the people coming off the bench, like it just seems like everything flows. We get good looks. All of them don't fall like we used to, but we look good. And what I think Corey mentioned this. We do need to do a little better on the rebounding part. We lose a lot of rebounds we should get just by being out of position. Like I don't want to sound like a Monday morning quarterback, but these are obvious things that we all see as fans. Like and coach is on them too. Coach Hewlett is on the sideline. Like we missed a lot of rebounds that we should get. But overall, the event center is nice, man. We need you guys in there. Like some of those seats haven't been set in yet, and they're calling your name. Go ahead and get you 1, 2, or 3. Bring the family. Try the chicken tenders, and it's all good.
Amen to that. And so they're the Bulldogs. They're going to be on a bit of a break for exams. Their next game will take place on Friday night, December the 9th, against Lipscomb Bisons. They're going to make the short trip up the road or down the road from Nashville. Corey?
And also, Wayne, that Lipscomb game is going to be in Elmore.
Correct.
That's going to be in Elmore because of the graduation.
Yeah, because of graduation, and they're not going to have the opportunity to be able to change the floor in time.
Hey, but don't y'all like that though, man? Like you see how we can do multiple things on our campus now. We don't have to go to the VBC. The event center, no problem. We can still go to Elmore. Like you gotta love that. We don't have to give the VBC all our money and pay for parking and all that stuff, man. That's the type of stuff that I like. We can just easily shift. It's not outside in the stadium. Like I like that event center being there.
Yeah, and to Lamont's question, how do we get the crowd back from the 90s? Hey, word of mouth and being able to just share that love, man.
And the product.
Yep, and the product.
The product. Everybody loves a winner.
That's it. So that is our men's team. And last but not least, we've got something here on our women's team. They are currently in progress at Ole Miss. Currently sitting at 0-5 overall. Their event center opener was this past Saturday. They dropped a 57-36 decision to the Lady Racers from Murray State. So we do have so much more on basketball that we will have coming up throughout the rest of the wintertime. We made a few connections with some of our coaches, and they've expressed that they would like to come on our show. So we'll also be looking to get our announcer, those of you that watched the live stream, Chauncey Sanders. He agreed that he's going to join us. So we'll be able to get him on board as well. So just continue to support our basketball program and all those great things. All right. Next thing we're going to transition over to is we got to briefly talk about the SWAC championship in football that's taking place this Saturday. We know that the Jackson State Tigers, they come in with a perfect record of 11-0. And they're hosting this game. This game will begin at 4:00 Eastern, 3 p.m. Central. It will be televised on ESPNU, so you'll get to hear Mr. Jay Walker and the fabulous Tiffany Green. They will be on the call for this one. Southern, I know that people watched. If you maybe watched the Bayou Classic, for me it was a very tough watch. It seemed like a pillow fight to me, because both teams were struggling. But Southern, they were victorious, and they clinched that Western Division bid, which we know was really, really wild this year. It seemed like nobody wanted to win it. And we're waiting on that steak dinner, Southern fans, because A&M beating Texas Southern helped you get there. So we definitely waiting on that dinner. So panel, give me your picks on this. I think I already know where you guys are going. So go ahead, and also those that are watching, go ahead and just make your predictions in the chat, and we'll read a few of them here briefly as we get ready to transition to our last segment. Go ahead, guys. Picks.
Man, I'm gonna go. I don't know, y'all not gonna agree with me on this one, but I got the Lord on my side. I'm gonna go 21-17 Southern. Bold prediction. And then actually, if I'm wrong, y'all won't be surprised, but 21-17 Southern. I feel like they got some magic in their hat this weekend coming up.
Okay, TJ, you feeling pretty good that it's gonna be like that. Well,
yep.
I'm gonna tell you, I think Southern is gonna they're gonna be ready to play, but at the end of the day, it's about the Jimmy and the Joes. And I ain't no way I can pick a team that we beat and Southern lost to 30-0, which they lost to Texas Southern.
Yeah, 35-0. 35-0.
So at the end of the day, Jackson State got the Jim and the Joes. They got the better quarterback and they got the better defense. And ain't no way, regardless, I see that if Southern had a quarterback, a dynamic quarterback, I would say they got an opportunity, just because I know the pedigree of their tradition. But Jackson State got the better quarterback, got the better defense. I'm picking Jackson State 35, Southern 14.
I saw that comment, CJ. I'll bet you a hot dog. I ain't betting money though.
Jay the Great, go ahead.
Yeah. Somebody said, Felicia just said that they do have they're well rested. Yes, JSU they had an off week watching the Bayou Classic, and Southern played a tough rivalry game. So I think it's going to be, closer than a blowout they had earlier this season. But I think it's going to be probably Jackson State by at least 2 touchdowns.
Well, here's a few things here, okay? Jackson State led the SWAC in scoring average, 37.5 points a game. The bad thing for Southern, they were also first in total defense, only giving up 111 total points. I ain't the smartest man in the world, but that's 10 points a game. So if you're scoring 37 and you're only giving up 10 and they blew you out 35-0, it doesn't look too good.
It doesn't look good on paper at all.
Doesn't look good on paper. Doesn't look good on paper. And also the best thing that Southern does is run the ball with their quarterback, Bashawn McCray. But guess what? Jackson State is also number 1 in the league in stopping the run. So the only chance that Southern has in this game, they need to force some turnovers, and they also have to play complementary football. Now, what does that mean to everybody? Complementary football. We hear that term a lot. Complementary football means you need your offense to control the clock and help out your defense. And your defense needs to be opportunistic and force some turnovers to give your offense a few short fields. My pick in this one, I don't think it's 35-0, but I think it's going to be 31-7. So the other thing I want to bring up in this game as well is this could be Deion Sanders' last ever home game in Jackson, y'all.
Colorado ain't named no coach yet, have they?
It's a strong chance.
Everybody naming coaches, but Colorado ain't named one.
Hey, neither has USF, neither has Florida Atlantic.
Or Jackson State hadn't came with no contract renewal either. They had some got a shake.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So, hey, we look. I like this. Oh, that's great, man. That's great.
By Deion. Here's my thing on the Deion Sanders coaching situation. Now, on 60 Minutes, Deion Primetime Sanders, they asked him a question like, "Hey, would you entertain any offer?" He said, "Yes, I'll be a fool not to." Now that he's entertaining offers, the Jackson State fans, stands, whatever you want to call them, they want to act like people are wrong for bringing up the fact that Colorado offered him. Like this, good coaches and bad, very good coaches and bad coaches don't keep the same job long. The bad ones get fired, and Deion, somebody put this in the group. It's not Deion Sanders we don't like. We just don't like Jackson State fans that put him on a pedestal. Deion Sanders is a good coach. He's a good motivational guy way before this coaching thing. He has done well, and I hope he does well outside the SWAC. I just want to beat him. So this guy won't be at Jackson State long, whether it's this year or next year. Like if you want him successful at Jackson State, he's going to go to another a Power 5 school or a Group of 5 school, somebody that can pay $7-8 million a year. And people like to say it's not about the money, but $7-8 million a year, it's about the money. You know what I'm saying? Who does not want to make an extra $8 million a year? Come on. I'm gonna stay and make $300,000, not make $8 million. Be for real, people. Like it's always about the money. But like I said, I don't think he'll be there if he stays and coaches next year. I think the only loss they'll have next year is against Alabama A&M, and he'll be gone after that.
I'm looking at these comments, man. These comments are hilarious. This is where the boosters at. I seen some people say they need to raise money for them. I'm like, man, y'all need to raise some money to take care of that water situation, brother. Seriously, y'all need to be raising money to help take care of that water.
And the potholes. Don't forget the potholes.
Yeah, we ain't gonna forget about them potholes.
Well, I ain't got no comment. I ain't saying nothing. Y'all ain't about to get me in trouble.
Hey, look at this. It said, I don't care about Deion, Freon, nor Neon. I just want my school to win. Hey, I hear you on that, brother.
I'm with you, Lamont. I'm with you.
Right.
Hey, And look at it. I love this CJ. He's a good one. Yeah, he definitely a talker, all right. He ain't talking about. I ain't heard him talk no football either. He ain't talking about a coverage. He ain't talking about
Right.
Hey, he went through his progressions in the pocket. I ain't heard anything like that.
Hey,
That's all right.
But play his theme music though.
Oh yeah, play my theme music. Hey, and this one, yes, Reese Dog, yes, we will talk. Hey, can we have a moment of silence for Mr. Terry Sims? Mr. Terry Sims of Bethune-Cookman, he has seen his tenure as the Wildcat head coach come to an end today, as athletic director Reggie Theus gave him his walking papers after consecutive 2-10 seasons in the SWAC conference. Rest in peace, Mr. Terry Simmons. We know that you shall pop up somewhere else in the SWAC or the MEAC or the CIAA. Or am I missing another? Am I missing the SIAC?
Well, I ain't gonna go there. Hey, I think Terry Sims is a good coach.
He is.
Just coaching at Bethune-Cookman is tough. Private university. It's tough, but I think he'll land. He's a good coach. He's respected in the coaching fields, and I think he'll land somewhere. It's just that Bethune-Cookman is gonna be tough.
That's it. Like you say, it's rough in the SWAC, baby.
Since we brought up Bethune-Cookman, can we talk about Willie Simmons, man? They kind of put his name out there to be to leave FAMU.
There he is, right there.
Yeah,
Demetria all over it.
Yeah, I like Willie Simmons, man. Like, I think he's a good coach. Seems like a stand-up guy. Hopefully he gets an opportunity to show his talent, and we're not in these schools don't keep using these recycled coaches like Hugh Freeze and Lane Kiffin. So just give these guys some opportunities to make $8 million a year and get fired so they can have a buyout too. You know what I'm saying? We want
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, I think Willie Simmons is a good coach. He's had a good track record at Prairie View and Florida A&M, and if he has the opportunity, if he ever has any desires to move up, hey, take that shot. It's all about what you want, and if that's what he wants, and if he's offered, he should go. The only thing that I have, and just my preference is, as how he, is him in prime. Just to me, I want to beat the man. As a coach, that's why some people may be mad about how Maynard handles himself. But to me, if you're a competitor, when it's about battling, I can respect you, but it's a certain time. It's a time and place for that. And so I just wish that he would show a little bit more aggression and and just that competitive spirit.
True,
that's right.
I just feel like he's too nice to Coach Prime.
I hear that. So
CJ has a good question. Did you see that?
Oh yeah, real good question. I know you guys know Coach Jason. He's mentioned a few things about that. So I don't know. We'll see.
I'm familiar with the situation. Our current offensive coordinator, Coach Dwayne Taylor, was offered an opportunity to coach the offense at the team in Las Vegas. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he's going to take that opportunity, and that's going to leave a position open at offensive coordinator at Alabama A&M. So that's where that question comes from if people aren't familiar with it.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're gonna transition into our final segment here of the show, and this has been a very great show. So our freestyle topic: why do I care? Why do you care so much about A&M sports? And I also will even throw this even into the HBCU realm as well. So one thing that I will start off briefly with this is, I chose this as our freestyle topic because I had a feeling that when we started the top of the show, we would talk a lot about our pride, and we did. And it's going to continue. One thing for me that I will make a very honest admission is that I graduated back in 2000. And when I did graduate, I kind of fell out of touch with A&M for a little while. and I kind of got back into it in 2016. Shout out to my best friend, Oscar Sullivan, because he was one of the people who spearheaded the Operation Jumpstart 1996 reunion. And that got me to return back to A&M for the first time, and at that point was 12 years. And I've actually been to A&M every year since then. Even living here in Ohio, and some of y'all, you saw me drive down there 2 weeks ago. So for myself, I'll tell you what really did it for me, which really gives me so much care about it. I work at Ohio State, and working at Ohio State, I have the ability to manage facility contracts, and that gives me the chance to go into all of the athletic facilities. And I went into their football facility, Woody Hayes Center, and they have a 100-yard indoor football field for their practice field. They have 6 practice fields outside, 3 turf, 3 grass. They have a place where you can get hydrated. You've got nutritionists, you got a barbershop, and then you go into the Olympic facility. They've got stuff for the fencing team, the rowing team. They got it all. And the thing that's so amazing when I saw all this, it really hit me very, very hard when I started thinking about how HBCUs a lot of them barely keep the doors open. During this time of the year, you're seeing basketball teams traveling all over the country. Now, mind you, SWAC has been doing pretty good in the non-conference. I'll give them that much. But you've seen a lot of our teams in the SWAC, in the MEAC, traveling all over the country, playing top teams, getting beat by a lot, to try to have a lot of donations come through the door. And I mentioned Ohio State because I looked at it last week, and a lot of people were very upset about them losing to Michigan. And I used to get really, really bent out of shape by that, but I don't anymore. And here's why. It's because they lost, and what they'll do is next year they'll just go recruit another 5-star. They'll go and they'll just throw money to somebody in the portal. Same thing with all of our other big teams. You know that. And I just look at this and I just say that I care so much about A&M sports and HBCU sports because I want to see us make it. I'm 44 years old. And I want to be, and I've lived most of my life to just see HBCUs have flash in the pan every once in a while. You know, I want to see us make it. But above everything else and seeing us make it, I want to see us be able to get out of our own way, guys. You know, stuff like what we talked about at the top of the show. But also things like, you know, just get down and just simple support of our teams, man. I know that we bang the drum about supporting our teams, but I look at this thing in terms of, man, it's financial support, but it's also emotional and moral support for our people. And I just would love to see our facilities be able to get anywhere close to what they see or what they have at some of these bigger places. Now, I know much of that may seem like a pipe dream. Much of it may seem like it may never be attainable to some. But then there's people like me who are crazy enough to still believe and dream that it could be possible for us. Just to see A&M open an event center, you got to understand how monumental a move like that is for us. I mean, it took a long time and it took a lot of people to do some things and make some sacrifices for that to happen. And to be at that ribbon cutting ceremony and see the emotions of some people who've been affiliated to the university for a long, long time, to see how happy they were. That means everything. And in return, our people, we should be packing that place out as often as we can. Now, I know what was is what was, and people have been, felt like they've had bridges burned and they've had their emotions hurt in certain things, and we get all that. But at the end of the day, this is a chance to build something bigger and greater, because no one else is going to do it for us but us. And so that's why I care so much about A&M. And this is why I'm going to continue to say the things that I say and continue to feel the things that I feel. My emotions get in it because I just know that we're better and we're capable of bigger and greater things, y'all. So I want to open this up to you guys, and then I'm going to address some in the comments, and then we'll proceed this forward for the last 5 minutes of the show. Go ahead, Jen. I know you got that passion. Go ahead.
Well, during my time on the Hill, I was actually in the pep squad. So part of my, responsibilities was to, bring the energy to the games. My family, I come from a family full of Bulldogs. And having that pride instilled from you, from your family, it's just A&M is such a huge part of my life. So because of that, I want, A&M to succeed on every facet. So, education, we're, succeeding because all of us, outside of our allegiance to the school, all of us are successful in our respective fields. So we know, what an A&M degree can do for you. But our biggest calling card is athletics. So that's what, brings people in, sports. And of course, in the South, we love our sports. So I want A&M to be, at the forefront. I want A&M to be on top of everything. And I, wish I could spread that passion to everyone. And hopefully, people do catch on. But A&M, like to piggyback off what Tenaria said earlier, not only just the event center, but A&M herself is a gym. She is everything. And so because of that, I want everyone to see what we know about A&M. We know A&M is great. So everybody's going to see it, but we know it. So I want everyone to see what we already know.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. T Goody, get it.
So I'm gonna kind of mix it up with the A&M sports and the reason why I love A&M. One of the reasons why I love A&M sports because I knew coming to Alabama A&M that I wasn't gonna be one of those people that's running for any political office on campus. I just don't have that type of personality to be the person that's running for SGA president or trying to be in a whole bunch of groups and all that stuff. So, and then of course I did football, basketball, and track in high school. So, I immediately was attracted to athletics. So I can show my love towards the school this way. So I that's how I got to athletics. But the love for athletics comes from the love from A&M. I don't I'm not talking about doom and gloom or death, but I didn't supposed to graduate A&M or even go. I was born and raised in projects by my mama, single parent. I was my grandmother's first grandchild that graduated. All the statistics say that Tenarius Tion Gooden was not supposed to graduate college and be a successful person. That's what the statistics will tell you. But I did. When I graduated Alabama A&M in 2009, my mama cried the whole time because she was happy to see her son graduate from school. And that made that, like, my mom was long gone now, but like even to this day, like my mama wanted me to be this as successful as I can be. So I still hold on to that now. That's why I get so passionate and so emotional about my university when we go do stuff that doesn't put us in the limelight, because these are things that can be avoided. These are not things that people are throwing our way. So my passion comes from just going through life as a struggling student, graduating and just trying to make my mama proud and just trying to find my fit. And my fit at Alabama A&M is to be a vocal supporter of the school and athletics. And if something don't smell right, I'm gonna be the first person to say it because I love that school that much, and I'm gonna continue to love it that much.
Yes, sir, Mr. Williams.
Hey. Well, I love the school. I love sports. I love HBCU in general. I came up to A&M the same time you did in '96. Graduated in 2000, and I came up to A&M, tried to play football, injured my knee, played baseball one season, and I was SGA senior class president when I was in school. And I also pledged Kappa Alpha Psi spring '99. So through all those experiences, and it's nothing like it. And also coming as a kid, I decided to leave. I was in Montgomery, hey, I was in the enemy territory, but I came to Alabama A&M, and I met some of the greatest teachers in the world who was mother figures. While my mom, my mom was back at home, and it was some teachers as mother figures who really, really cared for you, and also made you feel important. And and I remember one particular, because I was a social work major, and I had she was the chair, Dr. Shelley Wyckoff, who was very instrumental for me going into the field that I am, and just to see our young people and to see students. That's why I'm very passionate for our students, very passionate for our athletes, very passionate for academics, and also passionate for my university. So I will always do what's in the best interest of Alabama A&M, because it means a lot to me. That's the reason why I am who I am, because of Alabama A&M.
Yes, indeed. And just to put a bow on this, it's funny hearsay. So with you graduating in 2000, how was the transition to SWAC? Was in 1999. Yeah, I do want to say that the transition into the SWAC, man. So I'll tell you, the transition to the SWAC is best for me summarized in two occurrences: homecoming 1998 against Southern, and Martin Luther King Day night of 2000 against Southern in basketball. Now, we upset Southern in football at homecoming 1998, which had 22,000 people. People were sitting all on the everywhere. It was the biggest upset at that point that A&M had seen in many, many years. And then we upset Southern in basketball. And some people who are here on this podcast, they remember that night, because that night that was Southern's first time ever coming up there. And we beat them. I remember the score was 102-86. I mean, we blew them out. And I mean, they had this kid. He was the SWAC player of the year that year. His name was Adariel Smiley. And he was big. He was 6. I think he was about 6'8". And I remember I sat in the dog pound. And when I sat in the dog pound, I was one of those loose cannon kids that had a foul mouth. I said anything. I got way up under Adariel Smiley's skin. And at that time, here I'm dating myself again, but at that time in the WWE, they had this group called D-Generation X. And they had this thing where they made this X symbol and they put it down by their private area and said, "Suck it." And I said, "Hey, Smiley." And I did the move to him. And then it caught on around the whole gym. And then we was hollering at Smiley. It was just hilarious. Those were some of the best times, man. And that transition, those events, it announced that we could compete in the SWAC. And in 2005, our basketball team did win the SWAC and went to the NCAA tournament. And that let us know. That let us know that we are in the SWAC to belong, man.
and Wayne, I'm going to be brief. That game, that homecoming game against Southern, man, it was one sight to remember. Roland Hayes at quarterback. They call him Rodini, and and we ran the option to perfection and upset Southern during that transition period. And we had a AD at the time, I think it was Jim Martin, who had Martin. They really had a vision, and as far as taking A&M all the way to the top. God bless his soul, he's not with us anymore. But I gotta pay respect to him. He had a vision, and I'm encouraged that AD Paul Bryant is gonna even take us even farther. From my conversations with him, and just knowing some of the plans he has for us, I think he's gonna take us farther. And Board Out Nation, we have to get behind AD Paul Bryant and continue to support our sports program.
Correct. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And just to put a bow on this, for myself, I was on the first season of Sports Jeopardy, and my sports knowledge, I mean, it's what I do, it's who I am, it's my passion. I participated on podcasts, I've participated on different shows, I've done a lot, still continuing to evolve. But one of the biggest things that I would never do, and I won't stop doing, is I won't give my gifts for the university that I love so much. And so when I say, why do I care so much about A&M sports? Why do we all care about A&M sports? It's because we all have gifts and talents that we want to give and we want to provide and we want to see us succeed. So before we get out of here, this is a great show tonight. Some of you that joined us for the first time, thank you so very much. We hope that you continue to do this. As you can see on the bottom of the screen, we have all of the handles where you can follow us. On this YouTube channel, please make sure that you subscribe to it. On our Facebook page, go ahead and follow us, like and share. Also on our Instagram page, go ahead and follow us there, and also follow us on our Twitter. Next Tuesday night, we will be back at 8 o'clock, 7 p.m. Central. We were originally supposed to have had Morrell Carter to join us tonight. Due to an obligation that he had, he's also a not just a Fox 54 commentator. He also commentates college basketball as well as college football, and he had a college basketball game to commentate tonight. So he's going to actually join us next Tuesday night. So we definitely want everybody to join us. We also want everybody, just make sure that you continue to tell everybody as much as you can about what we are doing here on From the Hill podcast. We are A&M people for A&M people and also for the HBCU culture. So this is episode 5, y'all. We moving. So for Mr. T. Gooden.
Yes, sir.
Miss J. the Great. And Mr. Corey C.K. Williams. I'm your guy, Wayne Cartwright. Thank you for joining us. And good night.